can surround myself with people that are better than me at something, then it's going to heighten my abilities, right? It's going to take me up a notch. My grandfather used to tell me, if you are the smartest one in the room, find a new room. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for showing up to the Provoke Coach podcast. I'm your host, Clinton Mansfield, aka the Provoke Coach, and I have with me a very special guest today, somebody that I've known for quite some time. When she used to work for, this huge corporate company, and coming in entry level front desk receptionist, I have with us a very special guest. Thank you so much for showing up. Erin, thank you for being on the Provoke Coach podcast.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for showing up. It's been such a long time since we connected. You're in Detroit, Michigan, right? Just
yep.
Allen Park area.
Allen Park. Yep. Allen Park.
Man, I miss, it's such an awesome area, such a great neighborhood. Allen Park. And, really, a lot of people in that area they're really into physical fitness. And I guess let's talk about that. Who is Erin Hall?
Yeah. So hi guys, I'm Erin Hall, and I'm the owner of Let's Get Fit Personal Training located in Allen Park. Speaking about the community, I actually used to have my facility in Dearborn, Michigan. And about 3 years after that, I moved to Allen Park, and I'm now my 4th year here at this location. And I just can't believe how amazing this community is. They are just so welcoming, so loving, so supportive. Like, I have people who walk down the street and they want to come on in. They tell their friends about it. They tell their family about it. It is just night and day. And I could be not blessed enough to be in this location.
That's awesome. And I guess, a lot of people probably, they know you, they follow you, maybe even some mutual connections that we have, but there's also going to be some people that have no clue essentially who you are and really where you came from and what you're all about. Like, I guess let's talk about your studio and your business right now, present day,
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
let's talk about that.
absolutely. So my studio is basically a personal training studio. We are not a public facility. We're not a come and go as you please. We are only here when our clients want us to be here for them. We also offer small group training and some sports conditioning as well. Basically, I wanted to have that one-on-one feel and make sure that people are able to. I want to teach and educate my clients as much as possible. I want to teach them proper form, proper tempo, proper breathing, because you never want to hurt yourself during working out. You never want to cause injuries. And if something feels off, you definitely want to make sure you know how to, perfect that. And I
Yeah.
have a lot of clients who come in as well that they've never stepped foot in a gym. They have no idea where to start. So I always like to say it's a very good opportunity for them to come in so they can kind of start at point A and go from there. I will never throw anything at my clients that they cannot handle. We kind of start at point A and build from there. So like I tell them, I'm not going to have you come in and do crazy heavy deadlifts or 100 burpees. We're going to see where your strengths and weaknesses are and then go from there.
Absolutely. Well, and I guess let's talk about that for a second, because there is really the run of the mill, like I just want to look good. I want to lose
Yeah.
weight. I want to get in shape. I want to aesthetically look, and I'm sure a lot of females come in, they say, hey, I want to look like you. Like, how
Yeah.
do I do it? Right. And,
Yes.
it's like a lot of people got to understand and I like what you said about having proper form, doing proper breathing, really knowing what your strengths and weaknesses are. Let's stay on this for a second. Why don't people worry about that so much? Is it because they're young and naive and they're like, yeah, screw it? I mean, because I'm older and now I
Yeah.
worry about like functional training.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I just think at certain ages, you're not really mature enough to understand how much your body means to you. And taking care of it, how much it means to you. And I think social media as well has taken a huge, jump start on the whole fitness thing and all these different fitness coaches and just kind of following them. But sometimes you don't have that guidance of what you truly need to make sure that we adjust our body the proper way and make sure that we are mature while doing it.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. And I guess for you, I mean, I know you've learned some over the years, but I mean, where do you kind of see fitness, I guess, as a whole? Where's it going? Because I know you've been doing this for a minute now, so you got to see trends.
Yeah, so I basically have been serious lifting since 2013. I always
Yeah.
was an athlete playing basketball, soccer, whatever it might be, but 2013 is where I really got into it.
Yeah.
And yeah, you see the trends and such. But I just think that as long as you stay on top of these trends and make sure that you are doing what is just for you,
Yeah.
and not just doing something just because, like, just make sure that everything you do
Right.
is for a purpose. I think the fitness industry is blowing up. It is huge right now. Everyone wants to be healthy and fit and follow these diets, follow these lift type of things. So I truly feel like I see not just myself and my business, but the industry within itself blowing up because
Yeah.
fitness is just so important right now. Like I've back in the day, yeah, but now it's like holy crap, it's
Yeah.
like it's everywhere. It's on commercials, it's on billboards, it's everywhere you look now. And I think I personally kind of dig it because I
Yeah.
think, with having a society that like fast food is the easy way to go, like health and fitness should be more like on top of the tier, not so
Yeah.
much on the bottom. So seeing all these different people coming out with new trends and stuff like that, trying to make it the top of the tier is golden. Like I think that's
Yeah.
great.
Well, and I guess let's talk about that for a second, because you said something that was quite interesting, that I think in the late 80s and early 90s, and like when processed food and fast food was really going absolutely bonkers, it did kind of create this easy swing in, because I mean it's simple to go into Mickey D's
So
or
simple.
I mean, any of these drive-through, type places, it's really easy to be able to go in there. And I think you're right. Fitness now, it's like on every street corner is like some sort of a gym or studio or something, or anything that you see online. Has the world become that vain to where is it just social media that's pushing that, or really is there a little bit of depth in wanting to be healthy now?
There is a little bit more depth because I feel too with this pandemic that has happened has
Mm.
really put health and fitness in perspective. So I think with the health and fitness, I see way more franchises that are healthier now options, which I
Yeah.
think is really good. So I do feel like it's starting to come back on the front line, which I think it really needs to be.
Yeah.
Like you see all these like places now that just sell salads or sell healthy wraps or Smoothie King. Just little things like that are just now kind of a quicker way because we're always on the go. We're always on the go. So we want the quick fix. So if we have a quick fix that's healthy, that's beautiful. So I do see that, like I said, I think this pandemic kind of like brought like this to, life because yes, I was shut down for 7 months during, the pandemic. But I think it also was a pro and con for me because now people want to come to me because I am a private studio. I do that one-on-one, so they feel safer, they stay healthier, and they're able to kind of adjust themselves to make their lifestyle healthier so that they do not get sick in the future.
And are you doing more training based on, physical fitness and overall health and I guess, preventative type exercises and nutrition versus just the vanity? I mean, are you doing both? I mean, everybody wants to look good. Sure, who doesn't? But I think you're right now that the pandemic has, kind of come through and we've kind of seen what kind of impact that has. Are you doing more training based on that now?
Yeah, my general clientele is the general public. It's not competitors, it's not athletes, it is the general public just wanting to be overall healthy. I have clients who come in, they say, I want to be healthier for my kids. I want to be an example for my children. I just want to stay mobile. And, I have had a little bit of a older clientele build recently.
Yeah.
And I think that might be due to the pandemic, just because it
Sure.
kind of, again, puts in perspective that, hey, I'm at a certain age, hey, I'm at a certain health level. Let me make sure I come in and just kind of stay going. Cause like they say, once you stop, it's gone. So, you want to keep your body going as long as you physically can. And age is just a number. Like I have a 77-year-old in here who kicks butt, So,
Wow.
Age is just a number. And
Yeah.
as long as you have that mental mindset, you'll keep it going. But yeah, I just think that nowadays it is more so just staying, healthier, moving, making sure that they are a good example to their friends, their family, and just kind of making sure that they put themselves first. Because a lot of times, a lot of clients put everything else in life first, but not invest in themselves.
Well, and it's amazing that you say that is that, in pretty much all forms of coaching, there's this level of doing for others and not doing for yourself, right? And it's a huge thing, especially for moms are notorious for this. There are some dads as well out there, God love us that, we do try to do some extra stuff, but it's always somebody else first. We have this mindset. You're a mother now, you have a 2-year-old, right?
Yes.
It is easy to do and put things on the back burner. How has that kind of changed for you? I guess, we're kind of changing subjects a little bit, but, you said that you have an older clientele. We all know that you're a competitive bikini, athlete. So you don't train so much of the athletes and the competitors. You do train more of the normal everyday people and some, silver slippers, I like to call them, be that age, right? How has that been different? I mean, have you found some new ways of training that has helped those people?
Oh yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Basically what I tell clients, because a lot of the clients that come in that are in the later years, they're usually post surgeries, post surgeries, current injuries like knee and hip. So I always make sure that I adjust anything. Like I tell my clients first session they come in, have no filter with me. If anything's too heavy, tell me. If anything's too light, tell me. If anything hurts, tell me. Nothing should be uncomfortable when working out, and you want to make sure that you are challenging yourself, but not overdoing it. So yeah, I've had to adjust over the years because yes, I do have my competitors come in. I still have my athletes here and there, but I do have to adjust for my clients. Like all their workouts are custom designed for them. So yeah, over the years, I kind of been watching and learning more about mobility exercises, flexibility exercises, stability, because as we know, we get older, we start losing our balance. So I always try to, So I just try to give them exercises that allow them to keep moving, stay stable, flexible, so that they can just keep going on through all these years.
And functional training is huge for anybody really at any age. I mean, I think it's important, even if you are walking on stage, is that, look, your hips can't be out of whack. Your
Correct.
shoulders got to be fluid. You know why? Because you need to be able to pose and hold poses for certain periods of time that most people, I mean, they wouldn't be able to do, just because
Right.
you've trained your body to be able to do that. Now, I guess, going into the future a little bit, where does that, I guess, leave your business and your company? Because I see a huge thing with functional mobility in these private training, customized programs that you do for your clients. You're going to continue to do that in the future, or is there something else on the horizon as well? Or
Yeah, I just feel that, like, the clientele that comes into my building is what keeps me driving. They are the ones that the reason why I'm here today is because of the clientele. So any client that comes in, I will always adjust the way I train for them, because they're gonna the ones that are gonna keep me going. Like, I'm currently in a 2,200 square space. In the future, I'm going to be going next door, which is a 5,000 square foot space. So I'm
nice.
super stoked about that. I have a lot of things on mind. Like, I want to get an infrared sauna and an in-house masseuse, some more sports teams. So I will always adjust myself for the community that has made so much success for me. And if that includes more just, the elder population, the younger population, I will adjust and continue to learn, because I say never stop learning. Like, I've learned new exercises just last week, and I've been doing this since, for over 10 years.
Yeah. Well, and it's important that that is a part of your regimen. And I'm grateful that you said that, in many ways, because a lot of people get stuck in their ways. I mean, the older that you get, I think the more that you get stuck in, like, this is how it's got to be, especially in business, especially if you've been training, as long as you have, even, it's easy to be like, look, I know what works. Like, don't, we're not going to adjust shit. We're just going to do it my way, and you're going to do it. And you kind of, be that hardcore person. But, that's interesting that you're really conforming to what the people need. And you're learning a lot more in the process. I got to believe
Absolutely.
that, somebody comes in with something that, could be an injury that you're, a little bit unfamiliar with, or you got to work around certain situations with a particular client. That can be powerful. Now, I want to kind of change the subject for a minute, because I know you do some healthy type baking as well. Is that correct? Yes.
I do.
Talk a little bit about that, because that's quite interesting.
Yeah. So basically, over the years, a lot of my clientele always said that their biggest thing was sweets. I cannot get up past the sweets. So I was like, you know what? I want to help my clients as much as I possibly can. Like, sometimes I want them to hit their goals more than they do. So what I decided to do is start coming up with some, nice alternatives for them to still hit, have that sweet tooth, but also still make sure it's guilt-free. So yeah, I bake protein donuts, cookie dough bites, and chocolate meal replacement bars. Yeah, the donuts are such a success. I have so many flavors. I have like chocolate mint, blueberry lemon, birthday cake. And again, like, they're super clean, because I myself know what you should not be consuming. So there's things in there like coconut flour, pumpkin puree, cocoa powder, just super clean, nice ingredients, and they're guilt-free, but let me tell you, they're beyond amazing.
Wow. So, I mean, what's the trick? I mean, obviously you can't give all your secrets away, but what's the low sugar, alternative to that then? Like, what are you using to bake these products? Because
Yeah, so it's gonna be just like the coconut flour, the oat flour, palm sugar.
Okay.
Sometimes we'll put a little bit, like applesauce in there. So, like, I have other things that are super healthy, and I'm not putting sugar in them at all. So yeah.
Wow, that's fantastic. So I mean, are you doing this kind of at scale? I mean, do your orders go big, and you have to, kind of hunker down a little bit and pump these out? Because
Yes.
donuts are good, like, I don't care who you are.
Yeah, so right now I am just local only, and I bake on demand of orders. So yeah, once a week, every once in a while I'll be baking these orders, and they say like, oh, they'll last 2 weeks. No, they don't last more than a week because they're just so good, because I don't fry them, I bake them. So they're dense and they got that flexi meal in them. So they're super dense and healthy for the digestive system, and just kind of keep you full for a good amount of time to help decide until it's like your lunchtime or your dinner
Yeah.
time. Mhm.
Wow. That's awesome. That's
Thank
fantastic.
you. Thank you.
So, I mean, where do you see that in the future? Could
I
you
would
go?
absolutely love,
Yeah.
like, I think it would be so cool just to, like, maybe even like to partner up with like a meal prep company that doesn't have a
Yeah.
dessert option. And
Yeah.
there's some around this area that I've been thinking about maybe contacting and be like, hey, like, let's make some teamwork and make the dream work.
Yeah, of
So,
course. Well, and
I would love to.
those complement each other very well. I think it's critical when you have meal prep to have, I mean, look, when you're eating clean, as it can be mentally pretty draining and
Oh
stressful
yeah.
not to be grabbing something just nonchalantly, especially sweets. That's real easy to do. Well, that is absolutely fantastic. So I guess let's roll back, the years a little bit. Where did all this come from? Because
Okay.
you've haven't always been in fitness, and
Yeah.
that's, really not, it wasn't the plan at the beginning.
It was
How
not,
did
no.
all this, kind of transpire? I mean, where did you grow up? There, in Michigan, outside of Detroit, or?
Yeah, so I'm originally from Dearborn, Michigan, born and
Yeah.
raised. I lived there for about 28 years. And like I said earlier, that I always was athletic. I played basketball, soccer, softball, cross country, and track. And I ended up running my freshman year in college as well in the cross country team. And then I danced for 13 years as well. So I've always been active. And then when I decided to work at the front desk, I believe I was like 21, 22 years old. And I actually met two male bodybuilders who are identical twins. They've been doing it for 30 plus years. And they're like, hey, Erin, you should try doing a fitness competition. I've never like ever done one of those. I'm like, sure, no problem. Let me just try this, right? So I thought like, oh, hey, I'm still like built, right? And I can still eat ice cream. I can still eat this. Well, I went on stage. Luckily, I didn't place last, but I didn't place first. And then I saw how serious it was. And I was
Yeah.
like, but when I did my first show, I literally remember saying, I cannot wait for the next one. And I've now done 15 later. But yeah, but the reason why I think why I'm here today is because my original goal, my bachelor's degree is in environmental geoscience with a minor in soil science. So for about 3.5 years, I was a environmental geologist. Mind blowing, I know. I love, I love the outdoors. I love getting dirty. I'm a nerd. I'm a nerd. I'm gonna
Yeah.
just throw it out there. I'm a nerd.
Right.
But when so many people started seeing my body transition and being like, oh, hey, I want to look like you. Hey, if you can do it, I can do it. I started getting asked a lot, like, hey, can you train
Mhm.
me? Can you train me? And I was like, you know what? Like, I kind of really love this. Like, so then I went and got my education for the personal training.
Yep.
And for about a year and a half, I was doing both jobs. I was a scientist during the day, a trainer at night.
Yep.
And then about a year later, I got an opportunity. I was training people out of their homes. And one of the clients that I had in her home, her husband was a doctor and owned a medical building. And he's like,
Mhm.
hey, do you want to have your own space? And I was like, sure, right? I
Yeah.
started in the basement level of the garden level of a medical building, no windows, no nothing. You had to take stairs like down to see me.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, probably like 500 square feet. That's all I started with. And I just loved it so much. And after a few years, I gave my boss a 2 weeks notice. He told me no, and I said yes, and
Yeah.
kind of went from there.
Wow. So you fell in love with coaching. In
Absolutely.
training and in really getting people, you know, going from an athlete to somebody that competes, it is, a bit common, but you took a minute to transition body wise, right? From
Yes.
walking on stage and working out, because I remember seeing a bit of that transition.
Mhm.
Did you use your education and your science background, to try to shape your body and to understand what was really going on from a science perspective?
Yeah, I truly believe that
Yeah.
I did because, like I said, I'm a nerd and I love learning. I love seeing how the muscles connect. I love seeing how the mind muscle connection occurs.
Yeah.
So I think kind of diving into that, like within my back knowledge of loving science so much, truly helped me. And like I said, I'm always learning. I'm watching the top of the top trainers, watching their, the YouTube channels, Instagram channels, reading their books, reading their scientific papers that they publish.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't help just me now in my life, but it helps my clients as well. So yeah, I definitely think I dove in and was able to transition the way that I wanted to based on that knowledge and that science.
Well, and based on you trying something, seeing how it works, measuring what is taking place, and then
Hmm.
trying something new, right? But I
Yeah.
think that, and that's really what it is. I mean, a lot of people forget the science behind being able to peak in their
Hmm.
in their physical body at a
Yes.
certain point, in
Yeah.
the timing that goes beyond that. And the planning that goes with that. And that's what really makes you ultra successful for your clients,
Yeah.
is because you are able to really treat each one of them like a science experiment, if you will, and
Yeah.
say, okay,
Yeah.
this is
Uh-huh.
where we're starting. This is where we want to finish,
Hmm.
right? And this is what we want to be able to do, going forward. Now, I guess, was there any kind of moments where you wanted to give up? Was there any moments that you wanted to be like, I'm going back. I'm going to go back and ask my job back. I mean, was there
Yeah.
anything that kind of came up that kind of forced
Yeah.
you, or that,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, so basically, I took a huge risk, right? I was like, I took a huge risk leaving my actual career. First of all, that was just a huge leap that I took. I said, okay, let's try it, right? Um, After my first location, I was like, I'm ready to expand. Well, I went into a second space, and during the literally about 2 months in, first red flag was they were supposed to be giving me gym flooring and stuff like that, and a week prior, no gym flooring. A few days prior, no gym flooring. Like nothing was done. And I already gave my notice to my old space. So I literally had to put all of my equipment in a storage facility until that was taken care of, right? So I had nowhere to train my clients until this was
wow,
done. Yeah. And then from there, I finally got all my stuff in, right? Next thing you know, I'm getting notices on the door from the city over and over again. Well, it basically turns out that the real estater who had the facility up for lease was lying to the city. So I had to physically go in front of a judge because I was being charged with a potential misdemeanor. He looked at the paperwork because I was like running a business like not the way that they wanted it, right? He looked on
right,
the paper and realized that I got screwed over. He's like, "You're dismissed. This is ridiculous." And at that point, he's like, "You just have to get out immediately." Well, I had nowhere to go. Like, so I was just like,
wow,
why did I do this? Like, so luckily I found a local gym who I know the owner to, and he allowed me to train my clients in his facility until I found this current space. So all my stuff was in a storage unit. I was just like, oh my goodness, like what, like how is this happening to me? I took this huge risk to leave my career, and somehow I'm getting screwed over in a way when I didn't know I was doing that, because like we checked all the boxes the right way, but they were not. And it made me
wow,
second guess it, but I'm so like, I think it's like, it took time to find this blessing because
yeah,
this space has been nothing but that. So I think it's like, took some
wow.
time, definitely scared the crap out of me, but I'm so grateful to be here now.
And that's that most people would just give up. Most
Yeah.
people would just quit, and they would just hawk the equipment and just say, all right, let me get this equipment out of
Yeah.
storage, let me sell it, let me see what
Yeah.
I can get, and
Hmm.
then move on. I mean, what made you stick around? I mean, what made
I
you?
just I just love doing what I do. Like
Yeah,
I loved my old job, but at a certain point I was like I wasn't like really happy going into the office anymore. But this, no matter what time of day, if I was having a 5 a.m. client, I was happy. If I had a noon client, if I had a 7 p.m. client, I was always happy. And the text messages I would get were just so rewarding. Erin, I've never felt this good in my life. Erin, I've never been able to wear a tank top before, and now I do. Like that's what made me stick to it and make sure to not give up on this dream and passion that I have discovered through competing.
right, right. And now you have all these people, right, that are really
Yes.
kind of holding you accountable for
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
making sure that that you hold them accountable, and
Hmm.
I'm sure they're very grateful for that. Well,
Yeah.
what's it, I guess, what's it like? I mean, you're a mother now, you have a 2 year
Hmm.
old, you have a toddler, and we all
Yes.
know,
Yes.
what a handful, those could be. How are
Mm-hmm.
you doing it? I mean, you're getting ready for a show right now. You're
Yes. Yes.
competing again after a long time of not competing.
Yeah. Yeah. The
Let's talk
veteran's
about that.
back.
Yes,
um,
you're back in
I
business.
Yes, I truly believe in the concept of involving your children. I have brought my son here so many times when he was just in his walker walking around here. He now helps me, re-rack stuff, whatever he's 2.5 pounders he can hold.
Right.
So I've tried to evolve, I should say, because I'm a mom. I have to make sure that he is my number one priority now because he needs me. So, there'll be times where, like, luckily, family does step up. Like, oh, when he naps, I'll put him down for his nap. I'll come work out. Or if I can't do that, he comes here with me. I get it done either way because, again, I want to make him proud. I want to show him that this hard work is really for him and to be a prime example of like what you can do and what you're capable of.
Yeah, absolutely. And, he's going to grow up knowing, all of this, that
Yeah.
he may not know it now at 2 years old. He just thinks it's
Right.
really cool where he hangs out,
You're
and
right. Yeah.
naps by a
Yeah.
treadmill, but,
Yeah.
I mean, look, there's many kids that are brought up in situations of somebody else, taking care of them and watching them all the time and allowing, somebody like yourself that's ultra busy. I mean, you're an entrepreneur, you're competing for your 16th show now. I mean, what was the
Yes.
urge to come back and compete? I mean, did you think, yeah, I'm a mom now, no more competing, or were you itching to come back?
I was truly itching to come back because I haven't
Yeah.
competed since 2018, and I was like, you know what, I'm itching again. Like I said, I understand my body more now, my muscle
Yeah.
mind connection, because now almost being 32 years old, I've really have. It's been 10 years of me learning,
Yeah.
So I really wanted to do that, but I did get out of a toxic relationship. So I think this has truly allowed me to get my mental mindset back and to find my happiness again, find me
Yeah.
again. So I cannot, like you see right on my face, like I cannot
Yeah.
wait to get back on that stage and just do me. Like that's what
Yeah.
that sets my soul on fire. So I'm super excited to do that, to find my happiness, to show my son that yes, you can get through hard times, easy times, just keep pushing, man. Like you got this, little man.
Yeah. Well, and like you said, you kind of get back something that is all you, right? Like you lose a little bit of a piece of yourself. I think that,
Yes.
we all go through it, whether we, become married, whether we get into a relationship, whether we have a child. There's certain hats that we don't maybe wear anymore, that
Yeah.
we now wear the dad hat or the responsibility hat or the mom hat or
Right.
whatever, and we lose a little bit of ourselves. And thank God some of us are able to get that back in one way, shape, or form. And I think finding it, the sooner that you find it, though, the better. I think
Better. Yeah.
it turns out. I mean, from experience, it takes you a minute, to really kind of find that. Now, what advice, I guess, do you have for people out there that are listening? And I guess a twofold question, if somebody's thinking about starting a business out there, you're a prime example of, tenacity, somebody that's not giving up, and you've had your good times, you've had your bad times, and now you're having your great times.
Yeah.
What advice do you have for them? And then what advice do you have for people, I guess, the ordinary, people out there that maybe aren't, running a business, but maybe they want to conquer, their physical health?
Yeah.
What
So
advice do you have for both of them?
Yeah, so I always say it's never too late or too early to start your fitness journey.
Yeah.
If it's something that you truly feel like will benefit you both physically and mentally, go for it.
Yeah.
Like I said, you saw that I took that huge risk. If it's something that you feel will truly make you have, light that fire every morning, every night you go to bed, do it. Go for it. Because I used to be in the office. I was falling asleep and didn't want to do this. And I was like, I need to go find something that truly makes me alive. And if that something might be a risk, but like at the end of the day, you're going to feel so satisfied with your life, go and do it. I promise you will not regret it. I was scared as shit, sometimes, but now I wake up and I'm just so grateful, so blessed. So it's like, it's never too late. It's never too early. You can totally do this. If I can do it, you can do it. You guys got this.
Awesome. Awesome. Excellent. So where can people find you? They follow you on Instagram, on Facebook, obviously on your website as well.
Yeah.
Kind of give them your handles so they can follow you and hear more.
Yeah, so my Instagram account is little beast underscore e, and then my Facebook is just my full name, which is Erin Elizabeth Hall. You'll see a picture of me and my son, and then my website is www.fitbye.com. So it's FITBYE.com, and you can sign up there. You can see what I'm all about, hear my backstory, and again, Instagram right now is kind of my main thing that I'm posting, just to follow my fitness journey in terms of my competition, but also show certain workouts, make sure that you have proper form, proper things. Like I said, I want to educate and teach my clients as much as possible, educate as many people out there as I physically can, and just know that you can do it.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I'm going to have you hang around for a second. We'll let everybody else go. Everybody else, look, if you like this, if you like Erin, follow her story. She's getting ready for a competition. Her son, beautiful. And then, of course, her facility is getting ready to double in size as well. So I appreciate everybody being on the Provoke Coach podcast today. And as well, look, if you like this episode, do me a favor. Let's go ahead and save it. Let's go ahead and, subscribe. And then, of course, hit that like button. We'll talk to y'all soon.